Welcome back, everybody, or welcome in general. Thanks for checking this episode out. We're looking at the 5 best drummers. Now, that's not clickbait. I do apologize if that's what's led you here. I don't have the magical answer about who the 5 best drummers are. I certainly don't think anybody in the world does, and I'm pretty sure everybody in everybody's list, all those top fives in everybody's list, they'd all disagree anyways. So there's no hard and fast here. This is more of a, these are my top 5 favorites. Who are yours? Let's get a discussion going. Throw down below who your top 5, top 10, top 3, all-time favorite, whatever it might be, who your favorite or groups of favorite drummers are. So for me, starting out, you got Buddy Rich. I don't know what else could be said about the guy that hasn't already been said. By the way, if nobody or if some people in here don't know who some of these people are, pause the video, take these names out of the description box, go punch them into Google, and just get ready to be blown away, basically, specifically by this man, Buddy Rich. He's a beast. I think there's a almost folklore, but I'm pretty sure it would be accurate, that he is the reason why the drummometer, the thing that indicates the single stroke speed, he's the reason why that was invented. Somebody wanted to figure out how fast he was, so they decided to devise that thing that could register speed. He also apparently broke or sprained his wrist while playing some squash or racquetball with his brother on tour, and I think he did, correct me if I'm wrong please, but I think he did about 23, 27 back to back to back gigs one-handed, and he's a jazz drummer, and he's just a beast. He's probably influenced almost everybody. He's definitely influenced the people on this list, to my knowledge. So yeah, what more could be said other than the amazing, legendary Buddy Rich? Neil Peart, again, couldn't say enough about this guy. It's a shame that the drum community just lost him in January, but he could do everything. It seemed. That's why his nickname's the Professor, right? And again, you don't get a call to play at the Buddy Rich Memorial Big Band show if you're not well regarded and renowned in the drum community. This is a guy who plays prog, arguably kind of math rock, and he's being called in to do a jazz gig for the jazz great. This guy was massively diverse in all of his playing. He was just unstoppable. Following it on, Keith Moon. I don't know many people that wouldn't have him on their list. Not the most technical proficient, not to slate or be rude about him, but my God, could he just... It was almost like a well-orchestrated tornado behind the drum kit, It was just maintained chaos almost, and it was incredible, and everything made sense. Nothing was there because it shouldn't have been. And there was a documentary that Roger Daltrey isolated some drum and vocal tracks, and it became apparent that Keith Moon was playing along to the vocal line, and usually as a drummer you're playing to the bass line. And so just a hugely innovative kind of crazy load of, obviously all the stories around Keith Moon, but just such an amazing drummer to pick up the vocal line and pick up those cues. Not many people do that, and so it was a perfect signature for him. Following on to that, we gotta give the shout out to the wonderful Gene Krupa. Similar fashion there of Buddy Rich. They were kind of aqua contenders to some degree. You could look and say that, Buddy Rich was quicker than Gene Krupa, but Gene Krupa did things. Buddy did an interview and he said Gene Krupa would do things that I couldn't even imagine doing with just phrasing and feel and time. So this is another Gene Krupa, huge, legendary big band jazz drummer. Played with Benny Goodman. He had his own band, and he was just unstoppable. He brought the drum kit to the front of the entire musical piece, and some people speculate, and again, if you know this, please throw it down. Let's educate each other here. That he was one of the first, if not the first, drummers to be recorded as a full drum kit on a record. I think I looked into it. Baby Dodds, I think was back in, I think it was 23 to 27, 1923 to 1927, somewhere in that area. Again, totally could be wrong, but Gene Krupa certainly was an innovator and a pioneer of the drum kit. He certainly brought it forward in its presence, before it was a bit of everything, and it was kind of all over the place, quite accompanied, in terms of it would be maybe some bongos here and a bass drum from marching that they'd turn upside and put that there. But the way that Gene Krupa did it, he just took everything, and he has influenced Keith Moon, right? And so you can see in both of their styles of playing that Keith Moon was heavily influenced. I think he got a few lessons off of Gene Krupa, but again, correct me if I'm wrong, that's only what I've heard. And following up, I got to give it out to Aaron Spears. I learned about him in my degree, my drum degree. He is an absolute beast. That guy can lose the one intentionally, go on a journey across the world, and come back and find the one exactly when it needs to be, like right when it's there, right exactly in that right moment. He is unstoppable. He is chops on chops, but he's feeling groove. He's playing with Usher, to my knowledge still is, but he's just a beast on the kit, and some of his phrasing and fills, again, it's not all about chops. That man has got some serious chops, but it's just the groove and the feel that Aaron has. It's just incredible, and he grew up in church from what I've heard, so you can totally understand that feel, that gospel soul kind of feel. He's a beast. But again, what are your top 5? I know this is an impossible list. I'm looking right now at my screen, and I've got so many, not even honorable mentions, because I think this whole thing is a bit silly in itself. This is a category where they're all, I think everybody's top 5, and I think they are okay to change in and out, because you got Mike Johnston, Larnell Lewis, Ringo Starr, Chad Smith, Thomas Lang, John Bonham, Jim Chapin, Bernard Pretty Purdy, Terry Bozzio, Roger Taylor, Marco Miniman. Those are just a few of the ones that I didn't outwardly put in top 5, but I think those on any given day can and will and definitely should move in and out quite fluidly within themselves. But I do have to leave one category for the influence, and Chris Gaylor from All American Rejects was probably my influence. I want to know what your influence was, who that man or woman was that got you kind of there. I mean, when I first started, All American Rejects just did move along. It was back in 2005. They had one out before, I think, another album. But that's all me and my closest buddies and brothers listened to, right, was All American Rejects. And it was just, we knew all the lyrics, we knew all the songs. We kind of formed a band because we wanted to almost emulate them. So I kind of got to give it out to Chris Gaylor from the Rejects for kind of being that influence to get into this world of drums. And then all these people, they're just unreal. They're just incredible. So let me know who your top 5, top 100, top 30, who your ultimate favorite is. Again, this is a question that doesn't have an answer. And I'm sure I've left off some people that I totally just zoned out on. But yeah, throw those comments down below. Let me know who you're influenced by. Let me know who your favorite is. Let me know who you'd love to meet. Just let's get a chat going about all things drums and drummers and anything in between. So thanks very much. If you like this stuff, like or comment or subscribe, whatever that generic nonsense is. Let's just start a conversation about drummers, really. Thanks for watching.